This is my first time, but I had a dream where I was in a city that I have never seen before, and I'm looking for my car. So I'm on the phone. I call a woman, and she says, "Oh yes, it's in the back of the parking lot." I walk around, and behind a delivery truck, I find a huge new Rolls Royce slash muscle car. Think limousine, but swapped where like two-thirds of the car is motor.
Mm.
A lot of silver, a lot of silver on the motor, a lot of trim is silver. Um, I feel an urgency that I must be somewhere, but I tell a well-dressed woman there that seems to be a parking attendant, I say, "Oh, no, 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 I can't drive that." And I called the woman back that I was on the phone with previously, and I'm told it's definitely my car, that I have the keys. And I look in my hand and I have a key fob with a silver Puma on it. And then the scene changes. I'm very well dressed in an expansive lobby, and the strange thing about this is I see as I'm looking down this lobby, it actually curves upwards, and in my dream, I remember thinking, "I am not seeing what I think I'm seeing." So, at that point, I I realize I'm waiting to meet or speak, and a well-dressed lady is sitting next to me, and I sense that she is well known. She picks up a white cardigan, but it comes out of a craft bag with uh, handles on it. And I say, "That is mine." As she moved it, I see a spider on it. It's a small spider, and as she moves it towards me, it falls off, but it's white and it's dead. That was the end
So
of the
this
dream.
the spider fell out of where?
It was actually on the cardigan that I say is mine, and as she moves it towards me, it falls off and it's white and dead.
Okay. So you're in a new city you haven't been to before. You're not sure where you're at. That's how the
Mhm.
dream starts, right? And
Yes.
you're looking for your car, and they say it's back behind there, and you go and you see like a Rolls Royce muscle car, like a limo,
Mhm.
like 2/3. I like this car. That's amazing.
Yeah. Every time this has really come up in my mind, like, it's been maybe 3, 4 weeks since I've had this dream, and every time when I think about that car, I feel a heaviness, a strong heaviness
Hmm.
every time I think about that car.
Interesting. You know what I get immediately is what's called the kabod. There's the Shekinah glory and the kabod glory. The kabod is the heavy, weighty, gold laden presence. So it's not fun and shiny and rainbows and it's there's a weight to it. There's a weight to the glory of the kabod. And when you're talking a car, the car is representing in particular your calling or your vehicle to the destiny that God has for you. And you're going to have to go fast and you're going to have to take some people with you. And so that's why the car is big. You said it was like a limo, right?
Just size-wise, the majority of the car, two-thirds of the car was motor.
It was motor. Okay. How many seats were in it? Was it like two
The
seats or was
back
it
was just regular. It was just a regular,
okay?
like, 4 people could have fit.
Okay. Yeah. So what's interesting is it's not a bus. It's not a limo. It's not there's so many things that it could be when you're taking a group of people with you, but the muscle of the car is something that you're going to need particularly for where God has called you to go. You know what? I just keep
Oh,
I
I
remember the
lost you
movie
for a
Mad
second.
Max. Can you hear me?
There you are.
I said it's almost like the movie Mad Max. With the crazy cars and the big engines and the smoke and the tractors and just they had fun. I'm sure putting those cars together. Can you guys hear me?
Mhm.
You can hear me, Christy, right? Okay.
Yes.
Um, and so I feel like what it represents is it represents the idea that you're going to need to be powerful and you're going to need to go fast. Two-thirds of the destiny that God has for you is going to require you to go fast and to make a powerful entrance, right? And so that's the idea of two-thirds of the car being all motor and being muscle. The rest of the car, the one-third, is opulence because it's like a Rolls Royce.
Mhm.
It's a sedan. It can fit four people, but you're not talking a Pinto here. You're talking something that is completely extravagant and opulent and has a purpose, but the purpose is to literally to shine. The purpose is to show a level of extravagance and excellence, but also the main part of it is to have the muscle. Um, I think this is a representation of the glory of God in the earth today. I think there's the extravagance, yes. There's the gold trim, and then there's all these things that make it beautiful and make it desirable and make it amazing. But it's not the same car without the muscle. If it can't go fast, and if it can't go hard, and if it can't punch through, and then it's not the car that it was designed to be. Nothing against Pinto owners, but it's the idea that I feel like the church. I'm not even going to say the church. I'm going to say the remnant. I feel like in a lot of cases the remnant has been, and this isn't judgment. It's just an observation that the remnant has been more interested, really, in how things look than what they can achieve and how they can get things done. The idea of a muscle car is just that it's something that has some gumption to it, is the nice way to say it. It's a car that's bold and courageous. Um, it's something that can be used to make a statement, but it's more than just a statement of how good the paint job is or what color it is or how good the gold trim is. It's a statement based on what it can do. And so, first thing I feel like God is saying to you is you've been in a place where you didn't know the hidden calling that you were called to. That's why the car was parked behind a building. It was hidden. And then you were like, and this was a city you don't even know if you've been in before, right?
Yeah, it's completely unfamiliar.
And so you're like, okay, well, how much more hidden can it be than to be in a city that you don't even know where you're at? And then you see this car, and then you're like, well, this isn't mine. This can't be mine. So it's literally something that's been unfamiliar to you that represents your identity and your destiny. God is saying you have a much greater, you're more powerful, excuse me, and have a much bigger bandwidth than you thought you do, than you thought you did. And God is waking you up to the idea of that imagine how powerful you are. If you were this car, how would you drive this car? Are you going to drive it super slow and go 5 miles an hour? And, then leave the car at home and get a moped. But have muscle like this, it's to be used. It's to be used. God puts a fierceness in a woman or a man, in a warrior, to be used in times of battle, not to pull it out and cut our friends' heads off when we get mad at them. But when the day comes and the hour is here, those are the people that you want by your side. You absolutely want those people by your side that know how to do warfare, that are fierce, that are not afraid to back down or back up for anyone, because those are the kind of people that win battles. We had a saying in the military, again, as somebody who's been to war, we would say it's the highest compliment you could pay anybody is, brother, I'd go to war with you. And you didn't say it lightly. Because if you're in a foxhole with somebody and you're facing that direction and he's facing that direction, his ability to stay awake and shoot straight could be what keeps you alive. And so it's not said lightly at all, but the ability to do warfare, you're not talking about guns as in biceps, you're talking about a cannon. This car is something that can go fast, go hard, has power, has capability, can outperform in so many other ways, and yet it hasn't lost the excellence and the opulence that it carries, which I think is a good representation of you, Christy. It's representing who God has called you to be.
Okay.
So, what was the part of the car to get at the end?
Um, it was after the scene change. There's a woman that I understand to be well known and she picks up a white cardigan out of a craft bag with handles on it, and I say, "That is mine." And there's a small spider on it, and as she moves it towards me, the spider falls off, but it's white and dead. Almost like an exoskeleton. I don't know, but I know the legs moved right at the end, and then it stopped.
So she hands it to you. She hands the cardigan to you like it's yours.
Mhm.
Okay. What color's the cardigan?
White.
Yeah, I thought you said white. Um, there's a verse in Revelations that says, "To him who overcomes, I will give a white robe and a white stone with a new name known only to them." So it's interesting that the city you're in, you don't know the name of. The car you're in, you don't know the name of, right? So
Right.
the idea that it's an identity that you are unfamiliar with, that God is revealing to you, He's waking you up to an identity and a destiny that you will know the name of, right? And the cardigan represents the mantle. It represents the idea of taking on something, yes, white can be purity and all of that, but it reminds me of the mantle of the white robe, which is a champion's robe. It's to him or to her who overcomes. This kind of car, this kind of a vehicle is an overcoming vehicle. It's not for the meek, the mild. It's not for most grandmothers. There's some grandmothers that I know that are pretty fierce that they'd love this kind of car, right? But
Yeah.
it's specifically for conquering, and that's what it's for. It's to go fast, go hard, conquer, achieve, do things, accomplish things that other vehicles couldn't. That's why it was made and designed specifically for you, and designed to be 2/3 motor and 1/3 luxury sedan. So God is saying something about your identity and your destiny, and it's a whole lot more fierce and courageous than a lot of people would dare to think. So I feel like the message, Christy, is a message to you, but it's also a message to all of us. And the message is this: don't you dare play small. Don't do it. It doesn't serve anybody when we play small. It doesn't serve anybody when we be quiet, when we're sheepish, when we pretend, when somebody's rejected us, when they didn't like our ideas, when we didn't fit in the community, or they kicked us out of the church. And so we walk around with a chip on our shoulder, or worse, feeling self-pity because we don't know where we fit. That's not who we are. We're not of those that shrink back. We're warriors. We're fierce. We're lions. We're what's needed in this hour of history. We're what our forefathers were. That's where we come from. And that's what we need. And so don't be afraid. We're not flashing muscle for the sake of muscle in this car. But the fact of the matter is the car is 2/3 muscle, and nothing's going to change that. You can't put a 4-cylinder in this car and it'd be the same thing. So don't play small. Don't drive quiet. Let that sucker roar and ride loud and fast, because that's what it's made to do. And that's what you're made to do. Wear the mantle, wear the sweater, own the name, the new name that God gives you, and operate in a fierceness and a boldness that they will be afraid to cross you, because that's how you win wars. And that's where we're at in this country right now. Thanks for sharing your dream, Chrissy.
Thank you.